Violent street gang members being stopped before they enter the country. Border Patrol agents in the Rio Grande Valley sector arrested at least 17 members of the Central American street gangs in the past week. Among those arrested, members of the notorious MS-13 and the 18th Street gang. Well, joining us now, Republican Congressman Andy Biggs, member of the House Judiciary Committee and the Freedom Caucus. It's great to have you with us, and I've got to start with, again, the leadership of the House. The president has promised the wall. We've got the Border Patrol capturing these MS-13, the other Central American gang members, and the drugs are still just pouring over that border. It is an opioid crisis. It is a national crisis, and the Republican leadership tells everyone to go to hell. Your collateral damage and the president's wall is just not going to be funded, and says it right, with 55 days before the midterms.
Yeah. Well, Lou, I got to tell you, I'm frustrated as anything. First of all, in the overall budget, we're asking for less than 0.5% to build a wall that will save American lives and preserve our sovereignty as a nation. It'll stanch the flow of drugs across the border. It'll stop cross-border criminality. It'll slow down human trafficking and smuggling. It's not the be-all and to everything, but I'll tell you what, we could build it. We could fund that wall. And if you don't like that, I've got a bill that provides off-budget funding. And, it gets assigned to 7 committees. I think I'm frustrated. I think American people are frustrated. And if you want to prevent a blue wave, what I would be doing in the next week or two is I'd be finding a way to fund that wall and promise to get it started. Because I keep hearing, oh, yeah, we're building the wall. No, we're not. We're making some repairs on wall that already exists. We're not building new wall. We're building old wall, rebuilding old wall. And that's a big problem when you look at the numbers of people that are crossing this border. We're back into a surge situation again, Lou, right. And that just can't go on. Just can't go on.
New levels of illegal immigrants crossing the border, MS-13, the 18th Street gangs as well. This just goes on and on. And by the way, I've talked to members of the Republican conference till I'm blue in the face. And the fact of the matter is, if you guys don't care, the rest of the country doesn't, because it's really, the Republican conference has become an embarrassment. You've got a man in Jim Jordan who should be the Speaker of the House. You endorse him, you support him, and your conference understands that. And you have a president who has achieved unprecedented success already. Some days I think, Congressman Biggs, some days I think President Trump is the only Republican the only Republican or Democrat in Washington, D.C. who's actually working. He gets up in the morning and tries to get things done. What in the hell are the rest, where is everybody else?
Well, Lou, I got to tell you, when you say that if Congress doesn't care, the rest of the country doesn't care, I think what the reality is, the rest of the country does care. And if the Republicans in Congress don't get going on these issues, we're going to be in a real tough situation come November. President Trump has made it clear that's why he won. When he said build the wall, you and I both know this, the American public knows it. He moved from the middle of the pack of 17 candidates to number 1. It carried him across the line. This is the most important issue that we're facing, at least to most of Americans. Look, our economy is robust. It's growing. We've done the tax reform, the regulatory reform. But because we haven't built the wall, we can't say, hey, we've kept our promises. We've got to keep the promises. The border wall is job 1, and which is why I introduced my bill. And I talked to people in my conference.
Without a wall, you guys stand for nothing.
That's right.
And you know that. And you've been saying it yourself. And this president has done everything he can to get that done. And frankly, just so everybody understands, Mitch McConnell and the establishment GOP, the rhinos, and Paul Ryan have decided to destroy the Republican Party in these midterms. And it's nothing short of that. And there you have it.
Well, Lou, let's talk about one other aspect of that. When President Trump talks about a shutdown of the establishment wing here goes berserk. But the reality is he is trying to send a real strong message that he promised the wall, he needs the wall, the American people want the wall, we accepted that promise by electing him, and now we want performance. I think President Trump is sending every signal he possibly can. He's doing every way of communicating. He talks about it everywhere he goes. And you know what? Across the fruited plain, people listen. But here in
people
Congress,
listen. People not only listen, they agreed. They voted for him. That's why he's president and why the Republicans retain control of the House and the Senate. But the reality is, you guys didn't care enough to get Paul Ryan out of the way. Over in the Senate, you know, that's a rhino fest. It's going to be very likely a real disaster for the country, as well as the Republican Party.
I'm praying it's not, because, Lou, the alternative is quite frankly unthinkable. We haven't got the wall built, but I tell you, there are many people.
So what's
here
it going to take to get
Yeah.
Ryan out? Is there anyone moving to get him the heck out of there? Or is he going to stamp his feet until Kevin McCarthy, he gets to choose who's the next speaker? I mean, this is not, this is not medieval times. It may seem like it on Capitol Hill, but this isn't the way a speaker is chosen.
Right, and I will tell you, I think Jim Jordan can get there.
Oh,
and that's critical. I mean, I see the people mobilizing around the country. I see members in Congress that I would not have thought would be interested in Jim's candidacy. I've talked to them. I know Jim's working it hard. I think he's got a shot to get there. And if he gets there, Lou, you and I both know that we're going to see things done in probably a more transparent way. But beyond that, you're going to see promises kept. I think we're going to see a straight repeal come to the floor of the House. I think you're going to see a border wall built and with funding, either on funding, on budget, or through mine. You're going to see things happen. But the question is, will it be done in time? And that's the point you're making.
Exactly. And the time is running out, less than 2 months to those midterm elections, and you guys have decided to let a guy who resigned his job resign in place, the likes of which I've never seen in my life. It's awfully ugly to behold. Yeah. Congressman, it's great to have you with us. We appreciate it and all you do. Thanks so much. Lou.